Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I want to talk about the new updated best storm setup for PvP. Now before I even show you guys the setup, I just want to say do not play the school right now. This is a cool new fun setup, but if you're expecting to play Storm and have the game be fair and competitive, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to want to off yourself. So if you're somebody who wants to rank up or get better at the game, Storm is not the school for you. It's the only school left in the game unplayable right now, so go make another max and then quest them to max, and I'll make another build video for other schools in the future. But I want to get that disclaimer out of the way right away here, because I don't want to mislead you guys or give you bad information and you guys go and get the setup and be like, oh my god, it's such a good setup, I'm winning games, I'm gonna win games. No, the school's unplayable. It's just a fun setup I cooked up. So you're probably wondering, Liam, what is this new setup you cooked up? What is this new holy grail you have come across? Now, it's gonna be really weird and strange, but it actually makes sense when you do the numbers out on paper. So essentially the entire strat is ditching your resist stat. Now, the reason why ditching resist is smart on a storm, I will numerically break this down for you guys, is because 5 out of 7 schools, Pierce cap hits your resist cap. So what I mean by that is Storm's resist cap is 56, which by the way is even hard to hit on a storm. You give up stats to hit 56. But other schools, 5 out of 7 of those schools, don't give up anything to also hit 56 pierce or more pierce. And against life and ice who do not fully pierce you, either way their base damage is so high, you're not going to feel like you have any resist anyways in the game. So that's why if you simply just decide to take shields out of your deck and drop resist entirely, actually, and instead go for something else, you'll see why this strat is actually successful and why you can actually get away with it. So we have our health cap. Like I said, we have really good dual school damage. We're almost at our damage cap as well. Really solid damage. We drop the resist entirely. Now this is where it starts to get really interesting. With this setup, you can actually dual school with like 4 schools if you want to. Pretty much 3 schools guaranteed, which is really cool. Personally, I'm choosing to go with fire and ice. That's because snowman and frost giant are really good right now in the meta. They're the best counters you have available. And then you also have fire for fire elf and king artorias as well. But instead you could go for myth instead of fire to like minotaur, myth king art if you really want to. There is an argument that myth dual school is better. Like if you ran, I don't know, myth and ice for example, you do like minotaur, myth king artorias as well, and then snowman for the weaker weaknesses. And the cool part is if you want to rebirth on a storm, you still have the accuracy to do that, so it's pretty cool. Unlike other builds in previous metas, you actually don't have to give up any crit or block like other schools have to, which is really cool. Then you're also at your pierce cap, which is 59 with 35 pierce to off school as well. Dual school is obviously not good at all on a storm, but the devs are working on making it better in the future, so we can look out for that. I think one time I played a fire, I had like a triple buffed Fire King Artorias and did like 3.2 to him, which is pretty funny. We only have 11% outgoing, and you'll see why, but that's from our Skyfarer's band, and we are incorporating a bit of healing in with the strat, more so just to gambit and not actually really heal you. Then you have 36% Peace Serve, you can't really get any more on a storm. Then you have 4-piece Shad, which is a little bit better than the base 4-piece Shad. Perfect pips and really good arch mastery as well. So essentially the setup we're running is the new sage cap with obviously full fire pins or whatever school you choose to dual school with. Just a very good template for health, shad, crit, block, damage, pierce, accuracy, all that good stuff a storm fast cannon would want. We are running the sage robe as well with the same pins to match our hat. Again, just a really good robe. And for the boots, we have these sage boots with an ice accuracy pin. Now, you could do this pin to whatever school you want to dual school with. It doesn't have to be ice and fire like I'm doing. You can do like myth and ice if you really want to. And if you're wondering where to get this new sage gear, you can get it from Takanobo in Cave of Solitude, or you can get it from Lambent in the Crystal Caves in Avalon. Then for the wand, I have the Jabalba Crying Skyed Sword. It's just the best wand in the game for PvP and PvE. The new wand is pretty good, but you just give up way more stats with it, so that's why I generally don't like it. Yeah, you could make a setup work with it, but I just don't think it's better than the one I've built right here in this video. If you do not have access to a raid, you could buy the Fanciful Fairy pack in the Crown Shop. I know it's a little scammy and scummy, but you either have to sell your soul and time to raids or simply whale the pack and hope you get what you want. For the theme, we have the Dream Reaver knife. You can get this from the fleets, the final boss of Wallaroo, which is something accessible and cool. Be sure you have the correct sockets on. You're going to want a tier health socket, a square health socket, and two 6% pierce sockets on the theme. For the amulet, you can get the Stalker amulet. This is just the best one for square in terms of storm. You could also run the library amulet as well, but it's just objectively worse, so I would not recommend doing that. But you want to have a 7% universal socket right here, along with this square health socket right here. Then we're still rocking the Skyfarer's band right here with the normal square tier and of course Pierce Jewel right there. Now the pet is where things start to kind of go a little bit crazy, and if you've done Storm PvP in the past, you're gonna look at this pet and be like, Liam, what the hell is this pet? This is a demon. So, may I present to you the new pet. Now, this pet took forever to make. Thankfully, I had somebody in my chat who had it on an exclusive hamster to help me make it at a fast rate, which is really, really nice. So, this pet basically allows you to hit your stat caps for damage, pierce, and you get the accuracy as well, which will actually boost your storm accuracy to 100%. And also that you dual school with everybody. It's honestly kind of cool not having to run resist on a storm and all. It's not really like, you know, traditional Wiz and all, which I know some players don't like, including myself. But I mean, this is clearly the direction they're trying to take storm in. We have the Clockwork Courser to hit our pierce cap, and we have the new Sage deck because it's the best deck in the game. Just the best stats, and you get a Dark Surge item card for 5 Dark Surges in your deck, which is absolutely insane in the Shad meta. This is currently the deck I'm running. I just put Frenzy in for fun, but I recommend just running normal Galvanic if you actually care about ranking up. So essentially what you're gonna do instead of shield is either like empowered and weakness, and aside from that, you're just gonna get straight to buffing with like a trap and a blade, and then setting up a gambit, and it's keeping it very basic and hard setting up your gambit. Your stats are actually really, really good with this setup compared to other builds, and taking shields out kind of force you to have to play offensive and set up gambits and have to pack, like, you know, single blades, single traps, and all. So it definitely is a different and unique way to play the game. It kind of feels like I'm almost PvEing half the people I go against in a way, which I really don't like, but that's kind of the way they're taking the game, unfortunately. And Storm is the first school that kind of has to do this because of how bad your stats are. I know Ice and Myth and like Fires might PvE as well, even though they're good schools. Those schools actually have good spells going for them and, you know, competitive stats to have resist and stuff through shields and actually get to use a shield. But yeah, that's the deck setup, guys, and that's the gear setup. I think it's a really cool build. I think it's pretty fun and all. It's been interesting, to say the least, to try and, you know, figure out a different Storm build that's off meta for sure. But you know, I guess it kind of ties in with Storm's identity in a way where, like, you don't shield, you just play glass cannon and, you know, get straight to it and hit hard. As somebody who's done PvP over the years and a little bit before Rochambeau, I don't really like this new direction they're taking the school in. I'd prefer to actually just play Wiz PvP like it used to be and be rewarded for playing better. But who knows, maybe this is the solution to Storm PvP, right? Because right now, if you play better on a Storm, you're going to lose unless you get RNG. The only time you'll ever win on the school is if the opponent is really bad and new at the game, or like you get lucky so many times and your opponent has nothing going for them. Which again is not good, because the game should be balanced, competitive, fair at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, until they, you know, either smarten up and fix that, I think this is probably going to be the meta for Storm going forward. You just kind of get in, single drop, single blade, try and set up a gambit, try and counter everything if you can. But that's everything I got for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments below. Leave a like and a sub if you made it this far, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and take care, guys. guys.